Hello, my name is Bethany. Today we will be talking about harmful algae blooms. And this is an environmental concern uh, that we see here in Texas. Okay, introduction. What are harmful algae blooms? So algae is a microscopic plant that can be found in waters. They contain a single cell and they are found in marine and freshwater. They reproduce rapidly and can cause discoloration to water. So these little green like cell-like things, this is what algae is. If you've passed by a lake or a pond, you might see some discoloration, like it may look green or bluish green, um, or yellow or red. That would be the algae in the water. The concerns for this is that they can produce toxins that are detrimental to plants and animals. So what causes algae blooms? So an increase in nutrients can cause an increase in the algae growth and reproduction. So think of it as fertilizing your lawn. Once you put fertilizer into your lawn, then the grass starts to grow faster. So the more nutrients the algae intakes, the more that it's going to reproduce and grow and pollute our waters. What can cause the pollution of algae? Changes in water temperature, water quality, the amount of sunlight, and many other environmental factors. This is an example of Lake San Ray Hubbard. It's green because of the algae bloom. There are different types of algae bloom. One of them is called red tide. This can affect fish or shellfish, and they become contaminated and they can cause illness in humans and pets since we eat fish and shellfish. If it is contaminated, we can get sick. Swimming in the red tide waters can cause skin irritation. Breathing in the toxin can lead to respiratory problems. Golden algae, it only affects gill breathing organisms like fish, shellfish, amphibians with gills like frogs. There's no evidence that it's a threat to humans, but it's not a good idea to collect dead or dying fish just for consumption because they can have the algae in them and it's bad for them and can be bad for you. Red tide. So you see these little red circles. These are the red tide algae. Texas red tides usually occur during from August to February. It affects the nervous systems of fish, causing them to not breathe and become paralyzed. And it typically begins in the Gulf of Mexico. Um, Current wind currents can transport the blooms towards shore, and it mostly happens like in Gulf beaches. So in this photo, um, on this photo, there was a red tide that caused a lot of fish to be dead in South Padre Island. So here are some dead fish on the shore. And then this is a picture of South Padre Island during the red tide. You see this red right here in green. That is the algae, and that's the red tide. Golden algae. These right here are what golden algae look like in the microscope. So it's a single cell organism that lives underwater. They are primarily found in coastal waters, but can also be found in rivers and lakes. And it kills any organisms with gills um, that use gills for breathing. This is an example of golden algae in the lake. And these are dead fishes from the golden algae. So what can we do and what's the current status? So as of October 1st, 2018, there are no reports of discolored water, fish kills, or respiratory irritation related to red tides on the Texas coast. Um, Texas Park and Wildlife Department have formed a golden algae task force, and they work with scientists and stakeholders from the US and other countries to come up with strategies to avoid and minimize the effects of golden algae. And here's just a chart of the annual reports of golden algae. So from 2010, it started to increase and is really high, like between 2018 and 2019, and now it's starting to decrease. If you do see golden algae, or you suspect you see it, or you see any fish kill, uh, you can call this number to report, and then the golden algae task force will go and um, test it out, test the waters out, test the fish to see if it is in fact golden algae, and they will treat it. And here is an interactive map of algae blooms. So let's go to Texas. So as you can see, here's Texas. Not so many. In Dallas, there's not too many. Austin, there looks like there's more in Austin than there is Dallas. And we're able to go to Dallas. You're able to press the little green dot and it'll tell you, for example, Mesquite City, Lake Park, Texas. Toxic algae bloom closes Mesquite Lake. And this was back in 2020. And let's do the Austin one. Redbud Isle, Texas, 2020. There was some harmful algae back in Dallas. Lake Arlington, Texas, 2017. Algae blamed for stinking up Arlington's water. So you can just use this to see all the different algae blooms all over the world. And it looks like there's more. Like near the ocean. So you see Florida has a lot. Um, New York. That's pretty cool. Check out this interactive map. So in conclusion, if harmful algae bloom goes untreated, not only will our fish die, but our drinking water can become contaminated and cause illnesses for animals and humans. And here are my references. Yeah.